Hey guys, just got back from a morning of studying, and I thought I'd share an idea or a topic that I was introduced to recently. So, yesterday I was introduced to the concept of three different energy levels. Humans fall into three different energy levels, and I can't remember exactly who this author was, but I'll try to leave it in the description if I remember. So, the lowest level of energy is taking. The second level of energy is doing. And the third level of energy is being. So we can break those down a little bit. So the first level is taking. So this is characterized by short-sightedness and how can I take the most, gain the most right now. Yeah, it's in front of me, like I'll take it now. You're not afraid to burn bridges, you're not focused on the future, you're just focused on right now. Scarcity mindset, get it while it's good. The second level is doing, and doing is characterized by action, which for most of my life I would say I've been in the doing level, and I think most people probably are. I feel like that's probably pretty common. So doing is characterized by action, but really your life is almost like a broken record, and you just keep going round and round and round and replaying the same story and narratives over and over again. It's like you're running, but you're running on a hamster wheel and you're not getting really anywhere. And if you achieve success, it's not long before you're back to the level of your identity, which I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, you're always looking. This level is characterized by looking for techniques, looking for what's the new technique to get rich, or always looking for like the next trend and things of that nature. And then finally, the third level of energy is being. And being is characterized by principles. And it's really, it's got a lot to do with your identity and who you believe you are, and how you identify. And even if your external world doesn't directly match with that identity, that doesn't shake you, and eventually your internal and external worlds will be aligned. So even if your outwardly success isn't matching that belief, your ego, your identity, that it will be, and it will eventually. So yeah, these are really this level of energy. This top level of energy is characterized by principles. So what does that really mean? Well, it means you've got direction, because all of us have noise and temptations and distractions and all these things going around all the time. The world's crazy. There's infinite things you could do and be focused on at any given moment. So without principles guiding you, without these core principles, you will just become, you'll fall prey to these temptations. You'll just be consumed by the noise, consumed by all this everything going on around you all the time. So strong principles that guide you. And from principles, principles are timeless. So from principles, techniques can come. They can come from principles. So it gives you way more flexibility. So investors like Warren Buffett, who have continuously succeeded through so many different generations or decades, so much new technology, new business landscapes, how does he continue to succeed? Well, if it was techniques, If he was focused on techniques, he would succeed maybe once, maybe twice, but you couldn't imagine that he'd stay on top his whole life. And he wouldn't say it was his techniques. If you asked him, I'm sure you can find all over the internet, you can find quotes that it's principles, and it's simple principles that he sticks to. And that helps him get through and succeed through the changing landscape. So what does this mean for me? Honestly, I think I've been focused so much in my life on techniques and protocols, and not necessarily hacks, but of that nature. And I haven't really been focused on identity until recently, and my beliefs. And there's, the author's guide is to first focus on identity, focus on being, then focus on action, and everything else will follow and fall into place. Because if you focus on action before you're the person and you achieve success, it's only a matter of time before that success comes back down to your identity, to the level of your identity. So yeah, this has really opened a new paradigm of viewing my thinking and how I've interacted and viewed the world in the past. And I think I've been a very action-oriented doing. I've been in the second level almost my whole life, and that's gotten me places, but I seem to follow in similar habits and find myself in similar situations over and over again. And now that I'm aware of the highest level, which is being, I've actually begun to write my own code of honor. So guiding principles for me, my own personal code of honor. And yeah, I can share what I've got so far. So right now I only have 2 principles. The first principle is I give more than I take. And that's a very encompassing principle, whether it's in relationships, business, day-to-day interactions, life in general. I am always asking, and I'm always thinking, how can I give more than I take? Because that's how I believe you would attract abundance in your life. You attract what you are, and if I'm a generous person, I'm gonna attract generosity into my life, and that's the person I want to be, and that's what I believe is right. So that's principle 1 for me. The second principle is I keep my word. So there's many aspects of that. That means being very careful to make commitments and only committing to things I know I can fulfill. And when I make a commitment, I fulfill it. And that means saying no to most things, 90% of things, being open, clear, and articulate that I don't want to commit to something that I don't know if I can fulfill. And I think it's better to commit to less things and keep your word than to commit to a lot of things and not keep your word for all of them, even if you fulfill more than if you committed to less. And that's just what I feel is right. So those are my 2 principles so far. That goes along with I'm careful of, making a code of honor that has 20 principles and committing to 20 principles when I'm not certain that these are things I think these are timeless principles that aren't going to change in my life. I'm always going to want to give more. I'm always going to try and give more than I take, and I'm always going to keep my word. no matter where I am in life, I'm going to feel like I'm doing something wrong if I'm not doing both of those things. So that's easy to commit to then for me. And that's how I know those are good principles. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I just wanted to share. Having a code of honor, a personal code of honor, seems pretty cool to me, and really gives me more direction and clarity in life. And yeah, talk to you guys later.